In a new community, nobody tells the drunkard how to identify his colleagues, nor the prostitute. You're welcome, viewers. The other time, we stopped at Medlin Mom. Medlin Mom. We're going to the next story in the paper or in the tabloid. That's PMP. We're continuing with PMP. And I think we escaped the story. This is a love story, fiction, I suppose. Uh, love story, love fiction story. It's rather long, and we cannot do it since it's fiction. I think we should rather look for the realities. On page 8 here, we have the angle on work, ways to find a right business partner, business opportunities, making your own hive, signs that it's time to move on. I think it's concerning business. Let's see. Okay, let's read that. And that is page 8. Does it matter if you've been at the same desk for so long you can't remember your last job interview? Let me take it again. Does it matter if you've been at the same desk for so long you can't remember your last job interview? It's the question. After all, experience is a valuable commodity, and the best way to acquire it is to let the grass beneath your feet grow a while. Grow a while. Full stop. Or is it? Question. Stay put can be staying put can be career suicidal. And after a few years, it's easy to confuse familiarity with satisfaction and to substitute comfort for challenge. Here is a mini guide to help you decide whether now is the right time for a change or not. Uh, asterisk 1. Asterisk 1. You would like to quit while you are ahead. Leave them wanting more, and the door is always open if you need to come back. 2. Your targets are doubled, even though you missed the previous ones by 50%. 3. You've had 6 different you've had 6 different job titles and worked for 3 different managers in the past 12 months, but still no pay rise. Uh, 4. 4. The graduate trainee you recruited last year has just been made your boss. Okay. 5. You buy the job hunter's Bible. What color is your parachute? Question. And read it in one sitting. The next one. The Monday morning feeling lasts until Thursday afternoon. That's when you start work, you have the same feeling to the end of the week, which is Thursday. That's according to the end of the week. Let's see. Okay, next, you see an advert. Sorry, you see an ad for a job with a crap salary. Then you realize that it's your position that is being re-advertised, and no one has told you These things happen in real life. Hmm? Okay. Next, uh, you experience a sudden longing to escape from the clutches of the corporate body and live a bit more dangerously. Next, you see how much money you made for the company the last quarter and wish you had the chance to make it for yourself. Next, someone at a dinner, someone at the dinner party asks, "What do you do?" And you grimace inwardly at the answer that you have to give them. You realize your commute, you realize your commute is longer than your working day. You receive a copy of "What color is your parachute?" anonymously in the office mail with a card reading from a friend. Let me take that again. You receive a copy of "What color is your parachute?" question anonymously in the office mail with a card reading from a friend. The first thing you do when you get back from holiday is start planning your next one. Hmm. Of course, you remember what you went through the last holiday. And even during the last holiday, you start planning for the next. That's how I see it. Hmm. Okay, for the next one. Your partner is offered a dream job with a beautiful apartment, huge relocation bonus, and three times your combined salary. Hmm. You're single, and there's no one left in the office that you fancy. Then you go out to another office, you look for people outside your office. Hmm? Uh, uh, Next one. Not only have you got a credit account with the sandwich man, but he also sends you a birthday card and has named his firstborn after you. Hmm. That means he's older than you. Your boss catches you sticking pins into a voodoo doll of him. Hey, well, that's magic. Hmm? Your boss catches you sticking pins into a voodoo doll of him, of her, or her. In case, so your boss may be, whether it's woman or man. Okay, remember, next one. Remember that great idea for a revolutionary snack business you had last year. And remember that great idea for a revolutionary snack business you had last year and did nothing about. Is the question. And did nothing about is the question. Some other people have it too and have done something about it. Hmm. Love that. Let me take it again. Remember that great idea for a revolutionary snack business you had last year and did nothing about? Some other people have it too and have done something about it. Next one. You've been so long in your industry that headhunters call you for recommendations, but you've been so long in your job that they never invite you over for an interview. Next one. Sitting at your desk, you realize that you could do all of this in your pajamas via broadband on your PC at home. When all you do when all you do after office hours is to cry as you think of your business. When all you do after office hours is to cry as you think of your business. Next one. You dial 9 before making a call and your home phone and your and our home phone and answer with the name of your company when it rings. Let me repeat that again. You dial 9 before making a call on our own and on our home phone and answer with the name of your company when it rings. Your boss gives you a signed your boss gives you a signed leather bound first edition of What Color is Your Parachute? Life is just too short to go in a straight line, and it's time to head off in a different direction. You get a company long service award 3 years running. Mm, I think that's all. Signs that it's time to move on. That was PMP, page 3, February 3 to 5, 2003. We now go to the next page, uh, and that's page 9, relationships. Mm, it's pretty long. I don't know if we can go. Let's see. In-laws. Okay, the subject is in-laws. Some in-laws are so difficult to accommodate that they eventually become outlaws. I love that. And the previous writing too was by a very clever and experienced person, and signs that it's time to move on. Okay, let's go to the in-laws. Some in-laws are so difficult to accommodate that they eventually become outlaws, with the exception of some fathers and brothers who sleep with their daughters and sisters and mothers who do so with their sons. All men and women by nature are not to marry blood relations. Can I take that again? Some in-laws are so difficult to accommodate that they eventually become outlaws, with the exception of some fathers and brothers who sleep with their daughters and sisters and mothers who do so with their sons. All men and women by nature are not to marry blood relations. Uh, Reading through Leviticus 18, you are bound to be so ashamed of the level of blood mixing that is going on around us. Yes, it will continue till thy kingdom come. It will continue till thy kingdom come. Mm. Uh, when a father has carnal knowledge, as the Puritans say, or has sexual intercourse with a daughter, such a father cannot psychologically release the daughter to another man. Of course, how do you release a wife to another husband? Because your daughter has become your wife. Hmm? Oh my God. These are realities, I think. These are realities. Okay, cannot release the daughter to another man. In laws have generally been branded as hostile and unaccommodating, but some are very nice to be with. Female in-laws are in a special class of their own because they are known to terrorize and make life very unpalatable for their own species. Even from the period of dating, Even from the period of dating, some in-laws identify themselves to you as the opposition in your future marriage. These are realities. Hmm? You don't know, you can never tell what is the relationship between your spouse and the parents. Hmm? Okay, brothers are known to release the wild dogs when particular boys come looking for their sisters, and even when the brother is at home. And even when the brother is at home, a sister usually tells a female caller on the phone that the brother is not at home. Annoying, comma, very annoying when your mother-in-law is persistent and instructive about what to cook for your husband. Can I understand that? Let me take it again. Annoying, very annoying, when your mother in law is persistent and instructive about what to cook for your husband. Okay, that's the husband's mother. Mm. So that's meddling, another kind of meddling in marriage. Mm. I mean, your own husband, though he is her son. Mm. Full stop. Equally frustrating is when he decides to keep his silence when experiencing his opinion, when his silence, when expressing his opinion could have settled the question of allegiance. Of course, how can he express his opinion? He can't. He respects the mother. He respects the mother, or he fears the mother. Okay. Some mothers are sisters-in-law virtually hijack. Some mothers and sisters-in-law virtually hijack your home when they come to visit, making irritating comments about your living room setting and contradicting every family decision. Hmm. They shouldn't visit. We should allow them to visit. Huh? I think the wife shouldn't allow them to visit at all. Uh, the kids are normally watching the television or playing. Okay. Paragraph. Call it mate dependence. Call it mate dependence. Sorry. Call it male. Call it male dependence, and you'll be very right because your brother-in-law is practically sharing sweat, your sweat dash acquired possessions. That's your spouse's brother. If it's not your car, he wants to use for some. If it's not your car, he wants to use for some occasion. Then he needs something for a friend who is getting wedded, who is getting wedded, and hasn't got much money to spend. You may sometimes be driven to the point of screaming because he even wants to borrow your new shoes. Uh, familiarity, familiarity, they say, breeds contempt. If not, how come our brother-in-law would have nowhere else to have his bodybuilding exercise but in your very living room? Hmm. Familiar, that's the question. Familiar, comma, because you are married to his sister and your home is always his first port of call. Well, these are basic difficulties in life. Hmm? Okay. If you are if you are a softie, holding yourself in check may drive you into a disease, all in the name of relationship. But who said all in-laws are dependent? The mere fact The mere fact that they are in-laws doesn't mean that many of their actions are simply meant to provoke anger and cause some irritation. But there are some potential fathers-in-law, but there are some potential fathers-in-law would insist you stay freely in their outhouse when you marry into the family. so so that an eye could be kept on your behavior. Hmm. For your wedding dress, full stop. For your wedding dress, your sisters-in-law may have a field day and have you shut your mouth because it is going to be bought in London for you in pounds. The issue is that your personal decisions will be taken over That's new paragraph. The issue is that your personal decisions will be taken over. And after the wedding, the danger is that the instructions may continue in the marriage. Full stop. If and when you attempt to have an opinion of your own, what gets circulated in the family circles is that Kojo's new wife is disrespectful. Yes, these things happen. They will continue to happen until thy kingdom come. It's respectful. It's disrespectful. The question is, why why are many mothers-in-law and sisters-in-law only interested in the marriages of their sons and brothers? Question. Nerves of many wives become raw because they see right in front of their very eyes female in-laws giving instructions concerning their marriages, even though they themselves are in bogus marriages. Hmm. Well, it's right. So they criticize, but they rather should be criticized because their marriages are bad. They forget about them and they go into the marriages of their siblings. Hmm? Bogus marriage. Repeat bogus marriages. Yes, repeat bogus marriages. Painfully, when you've been advised by your parents not to argue with your in-laws, you only seal your mouth and in the process look on helplessly as the cockroaches take a ride on your face. Whom is he referring to the cockroaches? I think the relations of the other partner. Okay. It's essential and important that in laws learn to live in peace with their new family members. Full stop. In Ghana, a marriage is a big business as it involves not two individuals but two whole families. For this reason, everybody everybody feels. For this reason, everybody feels that he or she could make a contribution in terms of giving advice, money, foodstuff, and material things, just to name a few. Unfortunately, when family matters have contributed to the upbringing and education of the man, it is sufficient reason to be on his neck, even when he is married. Uh, They have looked after their brother or sister, whoever it is, mm, monetarily to become who he is before who he is before the marriage. Come on, get. Sorry, pardon me. Even when he is married, his wife will be continually reminded about who cared for him when his father died early, hmm, and who carried him to school because he was too tiny when his father died early. these are these are experiences of people, hmm, hmm, and who carried him to school because he was too tiny to walk. Hmm. All said a husband should pay his dues willingly to his family without necessarily resounding or harassing his wife and family. Paragraph. Some in-laws have received commendation from wives and husbands, but rather sadly, the number of these in-laws is not very encouraging. Many young brides have looked lovingly into the faces of their husbands on their wedding days and have become frozen when their eyes established a contact in the pews with a hostile in-law. Hmm. Some fight, some such fright may be carried through for as long as the marriage lasts. In Africa, it is said that in-laws are necessarily are a necessary evil. In Africa, it is said that in-laws are a necessary evil. You hold them a drop. You hold them or drop them at your own peril. Shall we therefore raise our cheers to all lovely as well as meddling in-laws, since the year isn't that old? Sorry, since the year isn't that old, I wish you a happy new year. And that's February. These are realities, these are experiences of people. Hmm? They happen. So after marriage, you wonder why you married, because you may feel more sad than you were unmarried. Hmm? Okay. Some mistakes Christian singles make. Mistake three. Okay, I think the first part came somewhere which we haven't done. Hmm? So some mistakes. That's good. Some mistakes Christian singles make. Mistake three. We are not always very good at reading danger signals in a relationship. When our emotions get involved in a situation, it is very easy to lose perspective. Emotions and feelings have zero IQ. A few of those danger signals are: A. Significant age difference. This will vary depending on individuals and depending on the ages involved. A 45-year-old person marrying someone 10 years older or younger is than is much less risky than a 25-year-old marrying someone that much older or younger, because so much change occurs during the late teens and 20s. By the late 30s, these changes are not nearly as significant as a rule. I'm not saying that age difference is always a problem, but it certainly is one thing you should consider carefully, i.e., before marrying. Hmm? Consider carefully, i.e., before marrying. B. Different family upbringing. Different family upbringing. It is a fact that two families are alike, so there are bound to be differences. Sorry, let me take it. It is a fact that no two families are alike. That's right. It is a fact that no two families are alike. So there are bound to be differences in any two families. Full stop. But look at the basic values taught by the families. What kinds of relationships exist? What kinds of relationships exist among the family members? Question. Some families have very close family relationships and others don't. You may have difficulty being married to someone who sees no value in going to grandma's for Christmas, or giving birthday gifts, or making phone calls to your cousin. C. Different attitudes towards children. Some people have children and want them around. Others prefer to admire them from a distance and are not comfortable with children. It is very important to make sure you are compatible in this area. Good advice, for those who are yet to marry. Mm. Okay. D. Priority of spiritual life. If one person in a relationship puts a higher priority on spiritual life than the other, it's a real danger signal and should not be ignored. Usually, when you are involved with someone whose spiritual temperature is below yours, You don't bring him or her up to your level. You rather go down to his or hers. This happens often, but it's not that easy. Your spiritual life is high. How do you come down to a lower spiritual life because of your partner? You can't come down. The spiritual life is high. It continues to be high. It doesn't even stay there. It gets higher. How do you force it to come down? It's difficult. Hmm? Uh, Different cultural interests. Some people have classical interests, while others have temporary interests. It can cause problems. Yes, it can cause problems. Uh, let's go. Let's see what is on page 10. Okay, I think we've deferred this page to another episode, but let's read what is there for us. Weep not. And the title is Share a Thought. Mm. This a spiritual column. Mm. Weep not, share a thought. Then we have Divine Intervention, Part 1 by Ernest Mabel. Weep Not was written by Martin Akko. Then Divine Intervention, Campus Life. Then we have It Happened to Me, Daddy. Then My Deepest Regret, Great Mistake. I think we will leave that. We will push that forward and do it in our next video, God willing. Uh, Thank you very much. Let's wait for the next video. May God be with you and may God bless you abundantly. Bye bye.